There's no doubt that the current coronavirus pandemic is the greatest global health crisis for many years. The question arises the extent to which it is also a matter of occupational health which needs to be considered by employers. There is an assumption that as we return to work, employers have a duty under health and safety legislation, particularly the 1974 Act, to take action to guard against the risk of infection. But is that right? Section 1(3) of the Health and Safety at Work Act sets out those risks which employers must guard against in order to meet their duty. And those risks are largely associated with the employer's undertaking or business. Is what is predominantly a public health risk something which falls within the scope of the employer's duty? There's also guidance to be found in other sources, such as the approved code of practice to the COSH regulations, which goes far as to say it is not the employer's duty to guard against the risk of infection between employees. And the approved code of practice says that is because it is not a risk which is directly associated with the employer's business. Other guidance takes it even further. The guidance from the Advisory Committee on the Safety of Pathogens makes it quite plain that there is no obligation to guard against employees picking up infections at work because it does not arise from the business of the employer. Whether or not health and safety legislation, in particular the 1974 Act, is the correct vehicle to enforce obligations in relation to the management of risk of infection remains to be seen. We will only know as and when HSE decides to take action and that action is challenged. It's right to say that different considerations may apply, for example in relation to the healthcare sector, where employees are working with persons who are known to be infected, or where they are required, such as in research work, to work with coronavirus itself. However, that is completely different to the situation where employees are working, for example, on a construction site or in a factory.